We all have to learn this game and start educating people about this, because this is the greatest opportunity humanity has ever had. Finally.
This is The Blockchain Show. The Blockchain Show is a podcast that demystifies cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology.
Hello, people, and as you can hear in the background, we've got some sirens. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean we're in trouble at the Blockchain Podcast? No, the Blockchain Show is fine, but perhaps someone is in trouble. Today, we've got a great member of the blockchain community, Ray, who's going to talk to us and give us some more information. So, Ray, please introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing with the blockchain.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ray Youseff. I'm CEO and co-founder of Paxful. Paxful started 3 years ago here in New York City, and now we have 4 offices around the world: New York, Hong Kong, Tallinn, Manila. We're over 100 people. We're looking to triple the size of our company in 2019, and we've got about 3 million users around the world. And the amazing thing, besides the awesome thing that we've built, is the fact that our volume is growing and growing as Bitcoin price collapses. Peer-to-peer finance is only growing. We just hit an all-time high last week. And the real question we all have to ask ourselves is, why? Why is this happening? And that's going to lead us down a very interesting rabbit hole that, frankly, it's about time the entire community has gone down this rabbit hole. So I'm excited to do it on this show. Oh my goodness, am I excited.
Absolutely. And personally, I see a lot of speculation about what's happening with Bitcoin and people trying to look at typical market indicators to work out what it's doing, but they just don't work. And so tell us your thinking about why it's dropped and why this rabbit hole was bound to happen. Yeah,
well, it's dark as things may seem right now. It's actually one of the best things to happen to Bitcoin and to the crypto community, crypto community in general, because it's taken the eyes are off the entire scammy ICO scene, right? And they're now on real use cases. People are wondering, what is crypto actually being used for in the world right now? Who's doing real stuff here? Is it all just vapor? The answer is not all just vapor. There's some real stuff happening. But first, to really understand, I'm going to give you guys examples of what's happening, especially in Africa, which is Paxful's biggest user base. There were 1 million people in Western Africa, and it's growing rapidly. We need to understand why. So let's look at the journey, the story, right? How did Bitcoin get here? What was the first use case of Bitcoin? Now, here in the West, we only hear about 2 use cases over and over and over again from the media, right? We hear about Silk Road, and we hear about, pretty much Silk Road and manipulation, right? So if we were to break those down to use cases, they'd be the gray market, and that includes anything from, Silk Road, which is black, to other shades of gray. Yes, there are more than 50 shades of gray in crypto, I assure you, right? Things like vaporizer shops in the United States. They can't get a Visa and MasterCard merchant account because they're not federally legal, right? Things like adult entertainment, things like sports betting, gaming, gambling. These are all gray markets, right? And they're a big use case for cryptocurrency, and they still are, right? So that was the first thing that came. And we're seeing it getting grayer and grayer and grayer and approaching white as we enter into this age of compliance. So the next big use case, and this one's a monster, it's a real doozy, and this is where 95%, in my opinion, of all crypto volume happens. It's speculation, and it happens on these exchanges, right? So let's face it, a lot of what's happening on these exchanges is not humans that are just investing. It is truly speculation of the worst possible variety, because less than 30% of all this crypto volume is done by humans. The vast majority of it is done by robots. AI is going around and beating you to the punch on trades, baiting you into making bad trades, devastating order books, and this is the vast majority of all cryptocurrency volume. It's a miracle we're still around. So there are 5 other use cases that are now in their infancy, but they're growing, and that's what Paxful and peer-to-peer finance's amazing surge upward is going.
That sounds pretty interesting, and it's something I haven't thought about, that robots are actually doing this trading so that they can just make a little bit of money and to skim that money off the top.
That's exactly what's happening. I can explain it a little simpler if you'd like.
Please, anything that tries to explain it simply is good, because our listeners are probably listening to this in the car or stuck on the freeway somewhere or the motorway in England, and they're thinking, hold on, what's actually happening here? So that would be good.
Yeah, so I'm no expert in trading, but I have been sitting on all these exchanges, Bitfinex, Binance, all of them are the same. They're all constructed the same way. They're continuous limit order books. Orders come in real time, right? And you don't see what's going on. You just see these trades disappearing and getting matched and appearing. You're not really sure what's happening. So here's the thing. Most of what's happening you never see, because think about it like this. You stand in line, you want to buy some Metallica tickets, right? You're standing in line, you're waiting there for an hour. If someone comes and cuts in front of you, you're going to get angry. You're going to say, hey, what are you doing? You're going to call them out on it, right? But now, one person coming in front of you is bad. But imagine, I don't know, in that 1 hour you're waiting, about 300,000 people cut in front of you. And they move so fast you can barely see them. And every single time they move in there, the price of your ticket you're eventually going to buy increases in price from 1/10 of a penny, let's say. And there's 100,000. So the time you get there, the price is mangled up. It might be higher, it might be lower, usually higher for you. So this is what's happening. Basically, humans are being besieged by an invisible army of algo trading robots on all these exchanges. And they do things that would honestly get their owners arrested, which was a regular securities exchange. And that's why the price of Bitcoin is so manipulated. It's an absolute disaster. We're here at Paxful. We don't really want to deal with this world of speculation, but we're forced to actually disrupt what's happening here, because this speculation is really going to be the death of the space. A lot of people have been talking about this for a while, but it really is a miracle the price of Bitcoin is still where it's at, considering how much rampant speculation exists in this space. That's all I'll say about that. I hope it was clear.
I think that explains it very, very well. And I do love analogies, because that makes a lot more sense. So what are you doing at the moment to make money and to save the world with blockchain?
The one thing that we're doing, and it's the only thing we're doing, is we're really showing other people how they can make money, because Paxful does not buy or sell any Bitcoins ourselves. We let other people do it. It's peer-to-peer. It's like Uber or Airbnb, but for money instead. It's the sharing economy meets finance, right? It's happening right now. So here's some examples. What you can do right now on Paxful, you can go up there and you can say, hey, give me your $100 Amazon gift card. I'll give you back $50 worth of Bitcoin. Give me your Whole Foods or Starbucks gift card. I'll give you back this much worth of Bitcoin. And you'll get sales. You'll get a lot of sales. You'll probably get eaten alive. So the question is, where are all these sales coming from? Well, they're coming from all over the world, right? People are getting gift cards and they're using it to get Bitcoin. And they're willing to give up quite a bit of it, of profit, for what? Why? For speed, for lack of hassle. Rather than don't have a choice because they don't have bank accounts, right? So this enables us to bring in 4.5 billion unbanked or underbanked people around the world, right? So the question continues from there, right? How are people making money with this? A lot of people on Paxful are in the drop shipping business, right? They will buy gift cards at 50% off, sometimes more. They'll put an ad out on eBay of some item on Amazon.com. And people will buy it there, and then we'll just have it sent from Amazon directly to that person. And their profit margin is around 50% or more, because they got a huge discount on the Amazon credit on Paxful. And people are running real business like this, especially in Africa and other parts of the world, and bringing their families into it. And they're onboarding all the people around them in their economies into the Bitcoin community, right? So this is happening right now. The question we have to ask ourselves is, once these people get Bitcoin, why do they need it? What are they using it for? And that's what's going to help us build amazingly streamlined, true applications people can use day to day, right? Because they're built on real use cases, true use cases of real people, not just speculation, not just a bunch of geeks making vaporware. So we can get into each of those use cases if you guys would like. I love talking about this because it seems no one else is talking about it.
Please do, yes.
All right, so we already went over gray markets. That's one, speculation. That's the other, and that's the big one, right? That's what's responsible for like 95% of all crypto volume, right? So, and it's toxic. We all know that. So what are the other use cases? Well, number one, think about this, wealth preservation, right? And there's two big parts of that. It's a spectrum, right? On one side, you have people who say want to invest in Bitcoin for the long term, right? That's a kind of wealth preservation, right? And then the others, but those people, sometimes they go peer to peer, especially for big OTC deals. But really, the huge use case that I see that's got me really kind of anxious, honestly, because it's a huge burden and responsibility for the cryptocurrency community to bear. It's wealth preservation in terms of inflation, hyperinflation. Venezuela, 1 million% projected inflation this year, 1 million%. Think about that. Those people are desperate. A mother with 2 kids, she's getting paid in the morning. She has to turn that into actual commodities or in something that'll keep its value before the afternoon. Otherwise, the next day, it's probably going to buy her half as much, right? So wealth preservation is huge. And as the currency wars continue to escalate around the world, you're going to see more and more people coming to Bitcoin as a store of value. They can easily turn into money in their bank accounts. This is key. This is people I was asking. What can you do with Bitcoin, right? Well, I mean, you can't buy groceries with it, in Venezuela or Nigeria or pretty much anywhere, right? So what's it good for? Well, here's where peer-to-peer finance comes in. That single mother in Venezuela, right? She's got 2 kids. She turns her local bolivars into Bitcoin, right? And then from there, she cashes out the Bitcoin by selling it to someone else around her for Venezuelan bolivars only when she needs to, right? She can go to Paxful and sell her Bitcoins at any time easily. It gets turned into money in her bank account or cash, and she can just use that to pay. But the whole time, she's got her money saved in Bitcoin instead of a rapidly depreciating currency. So wealth preservation, especially in regards to hyperinflation, the currency wars are not going away. Argentina's got like a 25% inflation rate. Turkey's got, I think, 15. Nigeria's got an 11% inflation rate, and so on and so forth. You're going to see more countries joining this pool as the world continues. And peer-to-peer finance will be there to help all those refugees, right? That's a huge use case, right? Second use case is payments. People need to make payments, and they're under limitations that we can't imagine. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a Western bank account and a Visa, MasterCard merchant account, a debit card, good for you. I have one. It's great. There's about a $3,000 limit on it, I think, a day. Cool. Well, in certain countries in Africa, right, even if you have a bank account, you have a debit card, they limit you to like $100 you can spend on it a month, maximum, like $100 total. So you're not buying an iPhone X off Amazon.com, right? So what are you to do? Like, imagine if all the plastic in our wallet was limited to $100 a month. That's it. We can use it. So what do the people do? Well, it's very simple. They will go on to Paxful. They'll load up. They'll find a way to buy Bitcoin, right? They do with a gift card, with a bank account, etc. And say this one guy in Africa wants to buy an iPhone X. He's got the money, $1,100, right? But he can only spend $100 online with his Visa or MasterCard, so he can't order it, right, from online shopping. So what he does is he'll sell $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to a guy that'll send $1,100 to his Alipay account in return. That's how he gets paid. And then from there, he'll buy the iPhone X from AliExpress with his Alipay money. That's what peer-to-peer finance can do. It can let you turn that Bitcoin to another form of money that can be accepted anywhere. So you just got around your limitations. His bank would not let him spend that money online. He turned his bank money to Bitcoin, and he took his Bitcoin and he sold it for money to an online wallet that will allow him to get what he wants. We call these trade routes. People on Paxful, especially Africans, figure these trade routes out all the time to the point where there are no borders or boundaries. Is that clear?
Absolutely. That is great. And the word clear is very prominent here. I think this is a great idea, and this works. And for most of us in the Western world, it's something we haven't thought about, but it's a real world case study of how people can actually survive with the trials and tribulations going on around them.
Absolutely. And it's not just normal people, it's also businesses, like small businesses. Like, for example, a friend of mine in New York came to me one day. He ran a shipping company. He said, dude, my business is down by like 90%. I'm like, why? He's like, oh man, the Nigerians are not shipping cars anymore. I'm like, the Nigerians, why are they shipping cars? So it turns out Nigerians would buy cars from America, used cars at some auction, send it over to Nigeria, and then sell it for 500% profit. This is an actual business. I was like, wow. So I asked him, why did it go down? Why did it stop? He tells me it turns out the Nigerian central bank stopped letting people in the country wire money out of the country to buy that car in America. They wouldn't turn their local money into USD. Why? Because the government there wanted to hold on to all the USD and euros for themselves because they're under inflation attack. So the small-time entrepreneur, business person got screwed over in that sense. How are they going to import stuff? How are they going to buy stuff now and keep their business going? Again, same exact method as before. This guy loads up and say he wants to buy a 82 Land Range Rover or something. He loads up on Bitcoin, say it's like $7,000, and then he'll just go find someone on Paxful in America, has an American bank account and wants a Bitcoin. He tells him, hey man, you can pay me for this Bitcoin just by fulfilling this invoice I got and just pay this auction house. And the guy's like, sure, I'll buy your car for you, man. He buys him a car and that's it. Deal done. Everyone's happy. One guy got his Bitcoins at market rate. Another guy managed to actually borrow a bank account and pay a bill and restore his importing bill. That's just another example of payments and how it works not just for people, but also for businesses, international settlements. Is that clear?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the best way to get Land Rover Discovery to Nigeria and make some money. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's what these currencies were created for deregulated transfer across borders. And we spoke to Dan, who created the martial arts coin, simply because that would allow people not only to pay for martial arts training, but also to buy equipment in China without having to worry about converting currency. These are real use cases. So, Ray, how can our listeners get involved?
Well, you can sign up to Paxful. You can start watching some of the videos on our YouTube channel, and you can start doing some trades. You can start, for example, getting your first Bitcoin, let's say, if with a gift card or with your PayPal account. See how easy it is to get Bitcoin with a PayPal account on Paxful. Then you can get, creative and start making your own offers, right? Your own offers to say, take people's, items and give them Bitcoin in exchange. And you're basically going to see that you can do anything with your Bitcoin. And that's the beautiful thing, because every time I talk to Bitcoin about something, to anybody, right? Especially in the media, they always ask me, well, what can you do with Bitcoin? Nothing. Part of me, the Bitcoin maximalist within, wants to jump up and, tell them and point my finger and no, they're right. You really can't do much with Bitcoin by itself. It's the truth, right? But with Bitcoin and peer-to-peer finance, you can do anything. You can turn that Bitcoin into anything else. You can put an offer up on Paxful now. You can say, hey, send me all mining equipment. I'll give you this much Bitcoin for it. Or give me your Starbucks gift card that you're sitting around and someone bought you last Christmas that you don't want. I'll give you this much Bitcoin for it. Hell, you can put up an offer for anything, anywhere in the world, for Bitcoin and basically get Bitcoin. You can spend your Bitcoin on anything. On Paxful, a good friend of mine in Berlin is selling Lamborghinis and Ferraris for Bitcoin. It's amazing what you can actually get with your Bitcoin now. So let's go through the use cases of Bitcoin in terms of what you can use it for, right? So number one, you can take your Bitcoin now and turn it into money in your bank account, real paper money in your bank account, and usually at a bonus. Right? Because when you sell the Bitcoin, depending on when you're selling, you're going to make anywhere from 1% to 3%, 5% back. More in other markets, right? It depends. Say you want to send that Bitcoin, you want to do remittance, and that's another huge use case, right? So here's the amazing thing about peer-to-peer finance. When you do remittance in peer-to-peer finance, you're not saving money. You're not saving that $10 or 10% that Western Union charges you to send the money. With peer-to-peer finance, you're making money. If you want to send $100 to your mother in Mexico, you would pay $110, and your mother would get the $100, right? The Paxful, you're going to put in $100 worth of Bitcoin, and your mother will end up probably getting $117 worth of pesos. Right? And how does that work? Because you are basically selling the Bitcoin to someone in Mexico at a premium, because it's harder for them to get Bitcoins, especially quickly. That's why they're going peer-to-peer. And that's why they're giving your mother more money. So you're not only not paying a fee, well, there is a 1% fee to Paxful for selling the Bitcoin that you pay as an escrow, but you're paying 1% and your mother's actually getting back 110%, which is pretty awesome, right? So remittance and peer-to-peer finance is a natural. I encourage everyone to explore. Go to whatever country you have families and friends in. Look at the payment methods available and look at the margins. That's how much. Like if you want to pay someone in Kenya, you want to send some money to them with M-Pesa, right? And all you've got is a gift card, or even if you have a bank account here in New York, right? You can turn that into Bitcoin on Paxful. And then from there, your mother or your family back in Kenya will get that money back in M-Pesa plus 17%. And that goes for every country in the world. You're going to find deals like that. What's amazing is some people, they don't just stop there with doing remittance. They turn it into an import-export business. Once they see they can make 17% on the money they send over there, they're like, wait a minute, why don't I just take that local money? Like my mother can't use that much money every month. I'll just buy some stuff from over there and just ship it over to America and sell it over here and make a total 30% profit or something like that. So you see businesses being found on this arbitrage, and that's the key you have to understand. Paxful and peer-to-peer finance is just an amazing arbitrage opportunity where literally everything, anywhere in the world, any form of money or energy is on the market, and it's completely liquid thanks to the people's clearing layer, the Bitcoin blockchain.
That's fabulous. So people, you're listening, you can go to Paxful, that's PAXFUL.com. Ray is also on Twitter, and that's Ray Youseff.
Youssef 108. RAYYOUSSEF 108 on Twitter. Yeah, please say hello to me.
Absolutely. And if you go there, you can find out about the first primary school that's been built with Bitcoin. And we've got pictures, which is a real world use of Bitcoin. I think it's phenomenal. Ray, I'm very amazed and astonished, which takes a lot these days. It's a very good concept. It's very easy to understand. And quite frankly, I think you've blown the doors wide open on what cryptocurrency should be used for. So we'll be pushing this out to a lot of people. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Ray, it's been great. Any final closing words for our listeners?
Only to get out there and explore. Look beyond the speculation and see these other 5 use cases that are just waiting to be discovered with amazing arbitrage opportunities, wealth creation opportunities for you, for normal people. You don't need, $1 million to start. You don't even need $1,000. You can start on Paxful with $100. I know a guy in Colombia that started with like $5 literally of Bitcoin, and now he's like employing 5 people in his city in Colombia. So it's like, this is open to everyone. The only thing is, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to dig deep to these arbitrage opportunities? And you have to be willing to educate yourself too, because there's amazing profit potential here, but there's also risk. And I caution people about this. Remember, Bitcoin is irreversible, but every other form of fiat is reversible. So as long as you can balance your risk, you can do amazingly well, make a lot of money, and grow this crypto ecosystem really now in a way that where it will actually make a day-to-day difference in the lives of normal working people around the world. And that's the key. That was the original mission of Bitcoin, helping the people that need it most. Let's not forget that. Let's move forward.
Absolutely. And so this Christmas, if you've got a spare $10, you don't need to spend it on the sales. Why not go to Paxful, put $10 in, and who knows where you could be in a year's time. As Ray said, some people start with just $5, but let's put $10 in and let's see what we can do with that. We can almost make this into a competition. And if you do that, let us know how well you're doing. We'll let Ray know, and I'm sure we'll be checking back in with you, Ray.
Anytime. We're all about education, and we all have to learn this game and start educating people about this, because this is the greatest opportunity humanity has ever had. Finally, we have a universal translator for money that allows us to bypass any limitations or any borders around the world and lets us use our money the way we want to use it. There's really nothing better than that.
Ray, that's phenomenal. Thank you so much. It's very inspirational, and I'll definitely look you up next time I'm in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on the Blockchain Show. And thank you, everybody, for downloading. Please tell your friends, click subscribe, and also click subscribe on your friends' phones. And please publicize this episode, because this is a real world use case for the blockchain and helping our fellow man and to make better use of our money. And it's all happened in under half an hour. What more can you ask for from a podcast? Ray, I hope you have a great day in New York and look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for downloading.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ray, and thank you, Ian. Thank you, listeners, for downloading this episode. Please tell your friends to subscribe if you're digging the show. It would really help us out a lot if you could give us a kind review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find this show. As always, please check out our website, theblockchainshow.com, for show notes and more information. We'll see you all next week. Thank you.